Hello everyone, welcome once again to my YouTube channel Sushma Ma'am Academy. Today in this video we'll discuss some important literary forms and terms in English literature. So let's begin the class. The first literary form is allegory. So what is the allegory? If we talk about the allegory, it is a narrative poem or prose. Allegory is a one type of narrative poem or prose. Allegory is a symbolic fictional narrative that conveys a meaning not explicitly set forth in the narrative. Allegory, which encompasses such forms as fable, parable, epilogue, may have meaning on two or more levels the reader can understand only through an interpretive प्रोसेस का सो एलिगरी एक टाइप की नैरेटिव पोयम होती है जो कि सिंबॉलिक फिक्शनल नैरेटिव पोयम मानी जाती है और जो कन्वे करती है मीनिंग नॉट एक्सप्लिसिटली सेट फोर्थ इन द नैरेटिव. सच फॉर्म्स जैसे फैबल हो गया, पैरेबल हो गया, एपोलॉग हो गया, these comes inside of allegory. And if we talk about the examples of allegory, so बनियान का पिलग्रिम प्रोसेस एंड स्पेंसर का फेरी क्वीन, ये दो एग्जाम्पल्स हैं allegory के. Next literary form is affective fallacy. So what is the affective fallacy? If we talk about the literary form affective fallacy, it is a kind of confusion. What is this? It is a kind of confusion between the poem and its result. So affective fallacy is a kind of confusion between the poem and its result. Next one is the allusion. It is a reference to a familiar thing or person or event. Allusion is a reference to a familiar thing, person or event, which often the mythical resulting usually a provision of further meaning in compressed form. So allusion is a reference to a familiar thing, person or event. Next is anecdote. Anecdote is a one type of brief narration. किसकी? Single event or incident. Anecdote is a brief narration of a single event or incident in poems. Next one is the aphorism. If we talk about the aphorism, is a concise expression of insight or wisdom. Aphorism is a type of concise expression of insight or wisdom, and the vanity of others offends our taste only when it offends our vanity. Frederick Nietzsche beyond good and evils. So main term is insight or wisdom. Main term is insight or wisdom. Autobiography. In autobiography, you are to remember two things: auto and biography. The autobiography term is made from two words, auto and biography. Auto means self and biography means life history. So autobiography is a one type of life history written by oneself. The naughty fictional story of a person's life told by that person, that is called autobiography. Examples: Saint Augustine's Confessions is an early canonical work in this genre. See also memoir. So जो ऑटोबायोग्राफी एक टाइप की लाइफ हिस्ट्री होती है जो उसी पर्सन के द्वारा लिखी जाती है. Next is a ballad. What is a ballad? If we talk about the ballad, it is a traditionally a folk song telling a story. Main term is a folk. Main term is a folk. Ballad is a traditionally a folk song telling a story. It is a legend in a simple language, we can say. It is a legend in a simple language, often with a refrain. A number of poets outside the folk tradition have adapted the ballad form as S.T. Coleridge. Stands for Samuel Taylor Coleridge. कभी कभी फुल फॉर्म भी पूछ ली जाती है, एस.टी. कॉलेज की फुल फॉर्म क्या है. सो एस.टी. कॉलेज स्टैंड्स फॉर सैमुअल टेलर कॉलेज. S.T. Coleridge, the rhyme of Ancient Mariner is a best example of ballad. If we talk about the ballad, एक टाइप की फोल्क सॉन्ग होता है जो स्टोरी को नरेट करता है. The Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, written by S.T. Coleridge. Black comedy. If we talk about the black comedy, it is a disturbing, absurd material presented in a humorous manner. Material represented in what humorous manner. जहाँ पर मटेरियल प्रेजेंटेड आ जाए किसमें किसमें ह्यूमरस मैनर में, तो वहाँ पे ब्लैक कॉमेडी होगा. यूजुअली विद द इंटेंशन टू कन्फ्रंट अनकंफर्टेबल ट्रूथ. Joseph Haller's Catch-22 is a notable example of black comedy. Next one is a biography. Just before time I told you the autobiography. Autobiography जो होती है written by that person, and biography जो होती है that is written by other one. Means life history of a person written by other one. That is called the biography. So it is the non-functional story of a person's life. James Boswell's Life of Johnson is one of the most celebrated works of a biography. We talk about the example of the biography. So James Boswell Life जॉनसन का एक बेस्ट एग्जाम्पल माना जाता है बायोग्राफी का. बायोग्राफी किसी अदर के द्वारा लिखी हुई लाइफ हिस्ट्री, एंड ऑटोबायोग्राफी सोम के द्वारा लिखी गई लाइफ हिस्ट्री. दैट इज कॉल्ड बर्लेस्क. इट इज़ अ ह्यूमरस इमिटेशंस. बर्लेस्क क्या होता है? इट इज़ अ ह्यूमरस इमिटेशंस ऑफ अ सीरियस वर्क. किसका? लिटरेचर का. ह्यूमरस इमिटेशंस होता है ऑफ अ सीरियस वर्क ऑफ लिटरेचर. द ह्यूमर ऑफन अराइजेज फ्रॉम द incongruity between the imitations and the work being imitated. For example, Alexander Pope's The Rape of the Lock uses the high diction of the epic poetry to talk about a domestic matter. So best example of the burlesque, that is the Rape of the Lock, written by Alexander Pope. Next one is the conventional poetry. What is a conventional poetry? It is a one type of autobiographical poetic genre in which the poet discusses is intensely personal subject matter. What? Personal subject matter. जहाँ पर personal subject matter discuss किए जाए with unusual frankness. So that is called the conventional poetry. The genre was popular from the late 1950 to the late 1960s, due in part to Robert Lowell's Life Studies 1959. So conventional poetry is what? It is a one type of autobiographical poetic genre जिसमें poet discuss करता है intentionally personal subject matter को with unusual frankness.